welcome to the Service Drive Revolution podcast with your hosts, Chris, the Bulldog Collins, and Gary Daniel, the G-Man.
Welcome, everybody, to Service Drive Revolution. How you doing, G-Man?
Good.
Just good?
Great.
You're doing great, bro.
Fantastic.
Today, we have an exciting show for you. We are going to read letters. So we haven't done one of these Service Drive Revolution podcasts in a while. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, we get some emails from people that read books and have questions.
Yep.
So we're going to go through those, some good questions, stuff that we can talk about. But everybody if you're not watching this on video and you're just listening, let me describe what's sitting in front of me. It's a man that's playing linebacker for the Concord, or where'd you grow up? Antioch?
No, I was Concord, yeah. West Pittsburgh, actually.
What was the football team there in the high school?
Spartans.
The Spartans, linebacker here, but he only has one shoulder pad on. And that one shoulder pad, I can't believe you would come on here and wear that. But it's ice.
It feels
because
great.
Our big baby man, G-Man, baby boy, has had surgery on his shoulder.
Yeah. Torn rotator cuff. So they had to go in and reattach it. And it's if anybody out there is getting that done, it's the most painful thing I think I've ever been through. My life, ever.
Well, everybody needs to order an electric skateboard. That's what they need to do.
It's right.
If you don't like somebody, send them an electric skateboard. How much are those things? $2,000?
Couple grand, yeah.
Yeah, just splurge for the $2,000. It might be tough, but send it to them because I don't know. How long did you have that skateboard? Let's do the math on this.
I got it for Father's Day. So I got it in whatever that is. I don't know, what is June? That's June, middle of June. It was a present for my wife and my daughter and my son.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'd say in 4 months, you crashed 3 times?
Between then and
how many times was the thing broken?
August. Oh, geez.
Because it was broken a lot.
I shipped it back to them twice, and then they sent me parts a couple of times.
So it was broken as many times as you fell.
It's been, yeah. I think that's been the issue with it. Is it never really hasn't really functioned right since I got it. So,
oh yeah, that's the issue. Not a grown man going 27 miles an hour down in Venice.
Oh man,
dodging dogs and kids and whatever else,
cars, potholes, you name it.
Yeah, the last time you fell that led to the surgery, there was no dog, right?
No,
it was just what?
It was just a little too hard on the brake at the wrong time, and so it just threw me off. And I was on a hill, so I kind of launched pretty far off the board.
Oh, so you're doing like a jump,
basically. Yeah.
Like what do they call it when they jump, like an ollie or
I don't know
what is it called?
I don't think it's an ollie. Do you, Lucas? You got some skateboard lingo? You get airborne on the board. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
So basically, it wasn't an issue with the equipment.
Well, it was the motor. What was happening? The motor was slipping, and then it eventually locked up, and then the board stopped, and I didn't, and I flew off the board. And then I had to put my hand out to stop, and my rotator cuff, which was already thin, tore when my hand hit the ground.
And so in a pretty
simple. I mean, it could have happened to anybody. It could be.
And so then
anybody.
The story was what were you doing? I got to remember all this because I block it out of my mind. There was something going on where you were getting surgery and something else at the same time.
Oh, I don't know.
What was something? Oh, your heart.
Oh, the heart. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're getting that's funny too. Look, everybody, it's been so long. We got to catch you up to this.
My health.
So then, we'll get back to you were going to have surgery on a Monday and be back to work on a Tuesday. Yep. Remember that?
Yep.
And who's always right?
You're always right.
Because I said, there's no way. And you're like, no, They say you walk out and you come. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's no way. And how long were you down? 4 days?
Yes, I had it on Friday, and I didn't come back to work until Tuesday. So I was out down 4 days.
Yeah, which is about right.
Yeah.
That's normal. Yeah, I'm always right. But then, so you go and you get was it the running on the treadmill test?
Yeah.
And then is it the one where you instantly lay down and they're like,
well, so they do it a little bit different is they have a bike on a bed. And so you actually lay down and you pedal while they're scanning. So they're watching
why
you.
didn't I get that? Wait a second. You're laying. I had to run on a treadmill and they couldn't get my heart rate. They wanted to get me to 180.
Yeah.
And I'm like huffing and puffing and I'm at 160. And so I felt like I was going to die. And finally told them, I'm like, I'm done. And then I get off and you're like, you can barely catch your breath. And then they're on you with this ultrasound, like, hold still. And your reaction is to punch them to get off of you. It's a terrible experience. So you got to lay in bed?
Yeah, so they have a bed with bicycle pedals on the end of it, and you lay in the bed, and it's got like some little contraption on the side that holds you in. And so the bed actually tilts to the side. And so you're laying down, you're on your
Where's
side.
this place at?
And you're pedaling, and then they have the sonogram and they're doing or ultrasound, they're doing the ultrasound.
Where's this place at?
It's in Santa Monica.
And how high did you get your heart rate?
It was like 178 or something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay. I
But it was
get
tough.
past 160.
It was tough. I mean, he kept jacking up the tension on it to get me to go. So, and then they kind of strap you in so you can hold on. It's a crazy thing. They got all these wires all over you. It's really
Do you feel like you're going to die?
interesting. I didn't feel like I was going to die, but I was,
I felt like I was going to die.
I was huffing and puffing for sure.
Okay. And so then our doctor, Dr. Lau, we love you, but you're, I don't know, he goes overboard. So he was telling me, like, you have to get this because, you know, and I go and there's nothing wrong with me. And so it's funny when you were explaining this to me, you're like, well, I'm in the top 3%. And I'm thinking the whole time, like, oh, wow, Gary's cholesterol and heart are good. You meant the top 3% of the bad.
The bad. That's right.
Which isn't an accomplishment. So you, yeah. And so then tell everybody what the doctor said, because this is hilarious.
What, the 15% deal? No?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he said, based on all my risk factors, so I aced the stress test, by the way. So I aced that one, but there's a bunch of other shit that's wrong.
What's just your cholesterol?
It's my cholesterol, and then I have some restriction in some of my arteries and stuff like that. So
Oh, yeah. So what are your...
I have a 10% restriction on my right side, and then the thickening
And like, what would I
on the
have?
left side. I don't know.
But what's a normal person have?
Oh, they want it to be 0. So
Do you think I have 0?
I don't know. I mean, I thought I was surprised that I had 10. I figured I didn't think I'd be 10.
Bro, how would you be surprised? Your blood is like a milkshake.
I know, I get that, but I feel great.
You do?
Other than I got a huge ice pack on my shoulder.
When's the last time you went to the gym?
It's been 2 months, almost 2 months.
Oh, that's crazy.
It sucks.
Okay,
That
so
part sucks.
did you tell everybody what the doctor said?
So the doctor said. So first thing, hold on. I want to back up just a little bit. So I had to do the stress test at the same time, only because Dr. Lau wouldn't clear me for surgery.
We need a drum roll, Lucas. Get ready for this. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm laughing too hard. So Dr. Lau wouldn't clear you for the shoulder surgery.
Yeah.
Man, I'm not even drinking yet. And so you had to go do the stress test. And then what was that doctor like? Like, was he's like
dry.
an old guy?
Yeah, he's an old dude. He's dry.
And
yeah.
So, like, just the facts are the facts.
Yeah, the fact. Yeah.
He's like, if you want to kill yourself,
yep,
keep doing what you're doing.
Exactly.
You're going to die.
Yeah.
Here's the chart.
Yeah. So
good luck getting life insurance.
So the end result was I got cleared for the surgery, and he said, okay, you can go, but what I want you to do is we're going to do some more testing on you. I want you to come back. And I said, okay,
and that's
fine.
when they tested your arteries, your main arteries.
And they did the ultrasound.
Like an ultrasound?
Mm-hmm. They ultrasound your arteries, measure them. Then they send me out for a CT or MRI, where they MRI your body and they do a plaque score, and there's all this stuff that they do. So he ran all those tests and then brought me back in for a consult. And I sat down with him, and that's when he he said, hey, based on all your risk factors, you have a 15% chance you'll have a heart attack in the next 10 years. That's what he said, which I don't think is that bad.
Really?
It doesn't seem like it's that bad to me. I would think that almost everybody walking around has a 15% chance, but he said that.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
He said it at 10%, they're like, meh, you're getting up there. But he said at 15%, you get our attention and we need to start making some changes. So to them, it was very serious. Like they were not messing around.
What he's saying, see, the way you explain things is I think you just did this again. I'm in the top 3%. So what you're saying is by having a 15% blockage, you are 100% likely to have a heart attack in the next 10 years. But you in your mind turned it into, I have 15% blockage, so I'm 15% likely to have a heart attack. But what he's telling you is you're going to have a heart attack in the next 10 years. It might be 5 years, it might be 7, but you're having a heart attack. You see how you maybe not, you don't have a career as a statistician.
I'm looking at the bright side of life.
Yeah, you did it again. Because you had me with the 3%. I'm like, oh, wow, he's healed. Like, praise the Lord. Gary's healed. No, ends up you're in the wrong 3%.
Yeah. Yep. So
that's what he's saying, right?
He wants me to be a vegetarian, basically.
Yeah. So that was the funny part that makes me laugh. Is that he's sitting there telling you that you're going to be a vegetarian, and then so you tell me that, right? And then for 2 weeks, I walk around and I go, odd, you're a vegetarian, you're eating steak. Odd, you're vegetarian, you're eating ribs. Odd, you're vegetarian, that looks like a burger. Every time I turn around, you're eating meat.
Well, so what happened was...
And then you got our Hollywood doctor, Dr. Feelgood, to tell you that you didn't have to be a vegetarian. You're like, oh, that's right. Screw the specialist he made me go to that I had to see because he's worried about me. Forget about all that. Go ahead.
It is pretty funny that he wouldn't clear me for surgery, and he was really worried about me dying on the operating table. But then he told me, he says, look, until the new year, don't worry about any diet changes. Just do what you're doing. He sent me some new pills. And he's like,
what are the pills? He's the one they call Dr. Feelgood.
He sent me
the one that make you feel all right.
Crestor. He sent me the Crestor.
Is that for cholesterol?
That's the cholesterol, yeah.
So now you're on the Stipends or Stipends?
I haven't started it yet, but I gotta pick it up today.
I got a text today. They want to do my blood again.
Yeah.
I'll be good.
Yeah, they text me too, and I'm like, I just did it last month. No.
Oh, so let's have them come next week.
No more bad news. No, they were wrong. I'm not due.
I'm due.
Yeah, I'm not due for a couple months. I got off schedule, so.
So it is funny, bro, that the guy tells you to be a vegetarian, which that in and of itself, it's funny.
Yeah.
Because there's probably no way, but then
it'll be hard.
Even though your wife is.
Yeah. Quasi-vegetarian. Yeah.
Well, she eats fish.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. And then you get Dr. Loud to tell you, no, go ahead, eat.
And then I think 2 days later, I had that Budapest pizza.
That's nothing
down at
but
Tom
me.
George.
There's this place in downtown LA that has, it's not New York, it's not Chicago, but it's really good.
So I talked to a guy who was here for one of the coaching meetings last week, and he was telling me that he has had some heart issue. He had I forget what he said, 8 stents put in or something like that, like a really high number of stents. And then he said, then he, was, they told him, don't drink, don't do this, don't do that. I gave him very strict guidelines so that he wouldn't have a heart attack. So he said, you know what? I didn't worry about that. And a little time went on. And I just decided I'm fine. And so he said he went out drinking one night, and he says, I'm not an alcoholic or anything, but we went out, had a really good time, stuff like that. And he had a heart attack the next day.
What?
Yeah. And he had to have quadruple bypass surgery on his heart because he had a heart attack the next day. And I was like, holy.
No, I'm worried about that. So I'm going to that doctor on Monday. The new one that Matt Damon told Matt to tell me to go to.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to that one, and I'm serious about it. I gotta lose weight. I don't want to have a heart attack or die.
Yeah, me either.
And it's all the men in my family get cancer and have heart attacks.
Yeah. I don't have a good history of that. My grandpa had a pacemaker, so he didn't have the greatest heart. My dad's heart was strong, but my grandpa, not so much.
Oh, the other funny. Okay, I have questions here queued up, you guys. I'll get to. But one more funny thing.
My life could be
is
episode.
The very first question I asked you when you were telling me about the heart doctor, right? Is I go, did you tell him about all the cigars he smoked? And you go, no. Why would I tell him that?
I don't even know why I'm admitting that on air. That changes your health insurance. You can't do that.
Really?
Yeah. Jeez.
I don't know. I always answer that stuff honestly. And I have health insurance and life insurance, and they don't look at cigars the same way.
Well, I'm worried about that, so I'm just kind of keeping that on the down low.
Yeah, our health insurance keeps going up. Man, I never use it, and it's crazy.
I know. Mine's nuts. It was great when the kids were little, but not now.
So I got some questions here. So the thing is, in the Irreplaceable Service Manager and Millionaire, the Millionaire Service Advisor. Oh, that's the name of the books, right?
Mm-hmm. That's your books.
Man,
yes.
I'm having a hard time today. I woke up at 3:30 and I couldn't sleep.
Oh, geez.
And then the boxing and the whole thing. So I've been boxing in the morning, and I need a nap. So in the back of the book, because I kind of figure most people don't read books. Like, it's funny when I meet people and they're like, "Oh, I got your book. Have you read it?" "Oh, I'm halfway through." You're like, "It's an easy read. Come on." So I put my personal email in the back, so we get emails. Like, people actually read the books, which makes me feel really good. And so here's one, the subject line: new to service. Dear Chris, just watched one of your training videos and I loved it. I am new to being a service advisor, just started in April. I've been in sales and customer service since I was 18. I am now 30. Customer service and sales have always been easy to me. I haven't been doing bad here, but I know I can do better. In my last job, I always said to myself, if I'm so good, why am I not better? One thing my dealership lacks is training for advisors. You're not alone with that. Where are the best places to go for training? What are the best practices to use? Well, Christopher, that's this guy's name, Christopher, we have advisor training. We sell it. Also, I would encourage you to read the Millionaire Service Advisor if you haven't read it, which he doesn't reference in here.
Yeah, that's a better book for him, right? I mean, it's more advisor oriented.
Yeah, I would say that so we'll give you a little synopsis about being an advisor and what the most important thing is about being an advisor. The most important part is to connect with customers about everything but the car or the commodity. You don't have to be great at selling, because let's face it, a car comes in, it needs maintenance, it needs brakes, it needs a repair. Selling is the easiest part. We lose the sale more because they don't trust us and like us than we do any other reason. So your focus as an advisor is to make friends, get to know them, take care of them, have a mindset of service, and do what you say you're going to do. Call them when you say you're going to call them. Call them more than you think they want to be called.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you just had your car in for service, and you told me this morning, like, I picked up my car yesterday. They never called and told me it was done, but I just showed up and it was done. Or you sent Blake, your son, right?
To go get it, yeah.
But nobody called you to tell you the car is done. And so call them more than you think, over deliver. And that's the key to it. We have sales techniques in our advisor training, but the most important part of the training is how to connect with a customer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's won or lost when the car rolls in, not when you're calling them, 3 hours later or 4 hours later. It really is that making that connection. And I think I always have this saying too, that the longer a customer waits, the less likely you're going to make a sale later on in the process, because they're getting frustrated. They're already starting to lose confidence and losing trust. And so if you always say you have to, attack the drive and instantly connect. And that is exactly where you win it. Because you'll throw them off. They're not expecting that at all. They look surprised when you rush out there and get them, and they're trying to get out of the car. They just look surprised at you. You know, it's funny.
It's a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, and then just be
pattern interrupt.
and be friendly. You know, we went to the movies last night. I took my kids to the movies last night, and we go to this theater that's called a dine-in, and it's like a restaurant basically. They'll serve you dinner right there while you're watching the movie, which is great because if you want to have, if you want to do it like I did it last night, dinner and a movie all at the same time. And so she comes up and, she's friendly and everything, but she's not looking at me, and it's loud in there because the trailers are going on, and she's talking to me. I can't hear what she's saying. Plus she's looking down, she's looking down away from me. And I just thought to myself, like, I'm a client. You want me to tip you, like, look at me, engage me, make sure that I can hear what you're saying, speak clearly, like those things. There's simple stuff. Super nice girl. And she did a great job. But it's just like just subtle little things I see over and over again that we do in customer service where it makes a big impact. It would be a totally different experience for me,
Yeah. What movie did you see?
Ragnarok, the new Thor movie.
Oh, how was that?
It was great.
Really?
Yes.
Just like nonstop, like cars crashing and gunshots?
Great. No, it's like, it's fantasy. So it's, sword fights and guys flying through the air and stuff like that. Yeah. Thor's got the hammer,
there's two meanings to sword fights.
Yes. That's a double entendre.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thor Ragnarok, I give it 2 thumbs up.
That's the G-Man rating system.
That's the G-Man rating system.
That's awesome. Do they have cigars there at that place? Drinks?
No, but they have drinks. So they have full bar.
Bring you drinks.
Yep. They'll bring you drinks. They'll bring you popcorn.
I didn't know that a movie theater like that existed.
They have these giant recliner seats. So you recline and you just hit a button and then the waitress comes over. What do you need? And
really?
Yes.
Wow.
It's the only way to watch a movie. I'm telling you. It's nice.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. So I asked you this earlier, but I probably don't want to say the name of the place they work, right? Especially because they're kind of I don't know.
Yeah,
they're like saying my place doesn't train.
Don't do it. Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
I don't want to get them in trouble.
Yeah.
So where there's a city or a brand, I'm going to say Watermelon. You follow me?
Yes.
So like if I said G-Man works at Watermelon Motors.
Yep.
In the town of Watermelon. You follow me, right?
Got it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in. Watermelon.
Is watermelon okay? You want me to use a different word?
Watermelon's a safe
I can use sword fight.
Arkansas.
I'll try to mix it up. I'll use sword fight. Okay. My name is Sword Fight, and I purchased your book, Millionaire Service Advisor, and I currently work at Watermelon in Sword Fight for about 3 months now. I was told by my manager that position is $40K a year if I'm good. Even here in the city of Sword Fight, there isn't enough to cover my expenses. If you were in my shoes, knowing what you know, would you aim for a higher end dealership as a service writer? What skills do I need to make at least $85,000 a year doing this? I heard you say that some people are making $400,000 a year being a service writer. How can I join the club? All the best, Ted. There's a lot there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I emailed him back.
Wow.
And I said, Ted, what's your pay plan?
Crickets, or did you get something back?
No, he's a nice kid. 12% of gross.
Wow.
And then I said, how are you capped at 40?
Yeah. 12% of gross.
So we fixed that problem. He's not capped.
No. 12% of gross.
Which brings us to our topic of our next service drive revolution. We're going to talk about advisor pay plans and paying them on gross or sales.
Jeez. Yeah, I think he could easily.
I think we fixed that problem.
Just doing the simple math, you could blast past 40 a year. I got him up to 70 just doing simple math.
So what would you say? What skills do I need to make at least $85K a year at Watermelon Motors?
I think he needs to fix this. He needs to fix upstairs his head. Because if he's in his head saying he's capped, but he gets 12% of gross, nobody's saying he's capped, and he's got to.
I get the feeling he's just new to it and he didn't understand. And so I think he was getting, his manager was saying that from past.
Yeah.
But he could light it up. Because I'll tell you this, the advisor you're talking about, Hassan, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, who was making over $400,000 a year. I don't know. Yeah, he had another gear. Control was his specialty.
Yeah.
I've never seen somebody write 3 customers at a time.
Yeah.
Where my style was a little different. He just had control.
Yeah, and he worked next to guys who were making a fraction of what he was making. It wasn't like everybody in the store was making $200,000. Right?
Oh no, I used to say it at the Top Dog event, and I was actually saying this in our last round of coaching meetings. Like I would say every year at the Top Dog event when the advisors would show up, and they would show up and say, "Oh, that guy, he's just lucky. He's blah blah blah." There's no way he was lucky.
Yeah,
in Glendale, California,
right? And
I would say, well, what I would do is I would take a couple vacation days and I'd go watch him. Mm-hmm. He'd welcome you. The only person that ever did that was Jair, who now works for us too.
Yep.
Funny how these guys all work for us, huh?
Yeah. I think too that, we see it over and over again. I've seen guys double their income. When we come in and we come into a store and we start working a store, I've seen guys go from $80,000 to $160,000, $170,000 pretty fast. And it really isn't anything that we've done other than to open their mind to the possibility that there's more out there. I mean, we will help them with effective labor rate and give them a menu, but the truth is you can do all that on your own. They could figure that out.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, let's give him some other tips. So back to, we were talking about connecting with customers and making friends. I would say that the advisors that usually lead the drive, whatever drive it is, in sales are the ones that when everybody else says that we're not busy are the ones that are getting the tell-ins, the ones that are answering the phones. So nothing replaces hustle, like hustle. So be good at answering the phones because those are appointments or friends. Give quotes, talk to people, run out to the drive, always be waiting for a tow-in, get the night drops. I was always the first one to get the night drops. I'd come in on Sunday and write the night drops. And so hustle.
Yep.
I remember what do I call? I call my boss Dick. His name's Dick in the book, right? But his real name wasn't Dick, but I changed it because he was a dick. But I remember so I would go in and write all the night drops and then they took it away because they were saying it wasn't fair. So then the assistant manager, she would come in. And whatever. She was the assistant manager, warranty administrator. She would come in at 8, right? Get the night drops out of the box. And then she would distribute them and put them on everybody's desk. Everybody's writing by then.
Right.
And so then customers are already calling. So customers would call at 7:30 going, "Hey, did you get my car?" And we're like, "Well, we don't know yet. Can we get your number?" And then it just ended up being a big mess. The riders wouldn't even ride them until after lunch.
Yep.
And so then guess what happened? Go ahead, Chris, write the night drops.
Yeah, right. You're here first. Yeah.
So,
I think get there first and be there last is really, when I think about the top advisors I've seen, that's what they do. They get there early, they're prepared, and they stay late, and they're maximizing their time there, and they're always busy. They're always doing something.
Everything you write, you get 12.5%. So write.
Yeah.
Get your name on everything. Hustle.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would drive by a car and stop when they were on the side of the road and give them my card and call a tow truck.
Yeah.
Make friends with the tow truck drivers. Think big.
Yeah.
That's the thing with Hassan too. He had relationships with body shops. He was helping everybody.
Yeah.
He was cultivating relationships with tow truck drivers and all of that. When everybody else is like, we're dead, he's in the back with 2 tow truck drivers.
Right. It's funny you talk about the phones, like answer the phone. Like if you talk to your receptionist and your cashiers, their probably number one pain point is going to be nobody will answer the phone when a customer calls with a question. They can't get an advisor or anybody to answer the phone, and they don't know what to tell the customer. And so I've had guys make friends with them, and they get all the calls, and the next thing you know, they're busy, and then all the other advisors are complaining because he's stealing all the customers, right? But meanwhile, nobody would answer the darn phone.
Nobody wanted to take the call.
Yeah. So be the guy. I'd make friends with them too. And
Well,
answer
when
the
we go
phone.
in and do our done for you program and we interview everybody in parts and service, there's always a correlation between what the cashiers say about the advisors that are most willing to take a call and who has the highest numbers.
Yep.
Always.
Always.
They always go hand in hand.
Yep.
It's never a mystery. Okay, this next one.
Those are easy things too. I mean, you can implement those.
So how did the
tomorrow.
watermelon sword fight thing
Tomorrow.
work in that?
It was a little confusing. I got a little confused.
So what should I say? Because this one's full of
Watermelons
names,
and sword fights.
names and cities.
I
I think we're used to watermelon and sword fight now.
All right,
Like, it would be more confusing to change it.
Let's do it.
Hey, Chris, my name is... I don't know if I should say his name. I am 18 years old and I work at Sword Fight Volkswagen in the state of Watermelon as a service advisor. I went into my manager's office a little over a year ago to apply as a lot attendant, and my manager told me he saw something in me, and instead of putting me at Express along with another coworker who I would hands off with half through the day, I worked 8 to 12, and then I worked 12 to 5 soon. As soon as school ended, I was able to come in all day. I beat out my counterpart's job, and I now work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5:30, Saturday 9 to 3. I started there not even knowing there was an oil filter, and now I can explain quite a bit on how an internal combustion engine works, and a lot about preventative maintenance as well, as which I'm sure you know takes a lot of studying and learning. I don't know that. G-Man could tell you all about that. The less I knew about cars, the better. It's more about making friends. That's what the technicians are there for. The more I worked, the more comfortable I became, and even as an express advisor, I started creating customer relationships and getting return customers. I started to be allowed to write main shop tickets, check engine lights, etc. There is now talk of moving me to a main shop service advisor. I've been watching a lot of your videos, and I'm wondering, although I do know what an oil filter is now, how to show my comfort with repairs and keep customers at ease. Trusting me through there is still quite a bit I do not understand, especially as young as I look. Trust is hard to come by.
That's a perception, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, just that last part. Like that's a...
Do you hear those sirens?
Yeah.
They're coming for you.
Tell them I'm okay. I didn't hit 911.
10 years is up. Yeah, so I would say that that's all noise in your head and not real. People want somebody who is friendly and honest and takes care of them, serves them, does what they say they're going to do, that they can trust more than anything. But I would say, like, there's a happy balance there, but I think we get too caught up with knowing about cars and how cars run. Mm-hmm. And the fact is that the technicians are there for that, and it helps to have product knowledge. But the most important thing is knowing how to connect with customers. Because when I was the number one advisor in the drive that I worked in, and I don't know, I'm in my early 20s, and I remember they called me in the Volkswagen shop, and there was this tech. I want to say that guy's name was Shane. I think. Young guy, cocky. Funny, he blew up an airbag doing an airbag recall on a Volkswagen, which was hilarious. Which he deserved for messing with me because he was picking on me. But he has all the Volkswagen techs in the shop around, and then he has this disc thing, and in front of everybody, like, you know, the dispatcher, everybody was there. It was like a big, here's a crisp, meeting. And he asked me what the disc was. And I think I said it was a rotor, but it was a clutch disc.
Oh, okay.
And so then he goes to the boss and says, how can this guy write service? He doesn't know the difference between a clutch disc and a rotor. And to Dick's credit, he said, good.
Yeah.
He's the number one advisor because he's good with people. That's it. He doesn't need to know that.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is spend more time calling, following up, exceeding customers' expectations than worrying about how a combustion engine works, because I don't know, sometimes that knowledge can be dangerous. You want to ask the technician every time.
Yeah.
And so ask the technician, like, hey, you put on here, it needs this. Can you show me what it is and explain what it does?
Yeah.
And the customer will never begrudge you that. So we have a technique in our advisor training that you should pitch to your boss, by the way, and be on, but that is called let the doctor write a prescription.
Yeah.
And so there's two ways of selling, but the best way when you're a new advisor is say, well, I'm going to ask the car doctor and I'll let you know.
Yep.
And customers would much rather have you call them back with the answer than fake it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think if you asked a customer too, if you said, hey, do you want your advisor to know about cars and be able to understand it and communicate with you in very technical terms what's happening with the car? I think their initial reaction would be yes. But the truth is, what do you want more? Do you want that, or do you want them to take care of you? Do you want them to be a good project manager where they take your car, make sure it gets through the process right, make sure it comes out clean, make sure your your paperwork's documented, he's communicating with you? Like, all those things are way more important. And we get caught up in the technical stuff that we think that people want, but the truth is they want that. They really want that. They think they want this, but they want that. And then there's a guy over there on the other side of the wall that he's an expert.
Well, yeah, and I would say this too, whenever we bring a guy from the other side of the wall over to be an advisor, so when we bring a tech to be an advisor, it's a disaster for the first 2 months because they try to fix and diagnose everything in the drive.
Yep.
It's way better if you ask questions and, really experience the problem with the customer and pay attention and don't try to fix it. Because whenever you make a tech an advisor, they try to fix everything and then they take shortcuts, and it creates a huge problem for the techs in the shop and the customer.
Yeah.
They don't add it to the RO because they're like, that's easy and, whatever. And no, let's get diagnosis and let's let the tech do their job.
Yeah.
And so just ask better questions and connect and, gain trust with the customers. That's what you want.
And you really don't truly know what they're talking about. They haven't fixed a car. They haven't pulled a wire harness out. They don't really understand it. And so you're trying to take, a lifetime's worth of knowledge and jam it into your head and amongst all the other stuff that you need to know. And then you're going to get it wrong. And when you get it wrong, it's going to be at the worst possible time. And it's going to bite you.
Yeah. And I would say more times we have taken a barista from a coffee shop who's really friendly and likable and turned him or her into an advisor. And it's been way easier than taking a tech from the shop and turning him or her into an advisor.
Yeah, they want to, and so you're spending too much time with the client. You're trying to diagnose in the drive because you don't have the car in the air. You have the expertise, but don't really have the car diagnosed. You miss it more than you make it. It's a terrible thing. I mean, I went through that personally. I had that first month was hard because you want to fix it. You want to fix the car. And I had to shift my focus.
You had to detach.
Well, I didn't have, at some point too, you don't have a choice because the traffic's running over you. So you've got to separate and just go.
You've overcommitted at that point, right?
Yeah. You just got to do it.
But that happens to every tech that comes up. There's like this 2 month where they're messing it up because they know everything. And it's better not to know anything.
Yeah, it's true.
It's better to be a people person, be really friendly, attack the drive. And you're young. So I'll tell you what, maybe people look down on you a little bit because you're young. Enjoy it because it goes away. I remember when everybody used to call me the kid. Nobody calls me the kid anymore. And second of all is use all that young energy to get the night drops, to write the internals, like hustle for your boss and be the go-to.
Yeah.
Like be the one always available, which I get the feeling from his email here that he's like working Saturdays. He's down to go. But that's what I would say is enjoy being young and being judged and just make it a motivator more than anything.
I agree with that. 100%.
Especially in this particular email comes from the Northwest. And so I experienced that when I was a kid. It is what it is. And also it's Volkswagen. So we're doing a pilot with Volkswagen coming up. I wonder if he could be in on that.
Yeah. I've heard from people who've told me that they're coming. So we're doing a pilot training for Volkswagen coming up in the beginning of December, maybe
maybe he can get in on that. We'll see. That'll be fun.
Yeah, so we could be coming around your way if you're in Volkswagen.